yeah, before I got to just before I got to went on vacation, and when I came back, I got to finish it. But I finally got to start playing Mortal Kombat 11. Um, I have a very strong emotional tie to Mortal Kombat, the movie series. I mean, the video game series a little bit less so, but the movies, the original movie more particular. If you don't know, I've done videos of it on my channel. It's one of my. It's a bad movie, but it's a movie that I love. But yeah, so the games, whenever they kind of come around, I don't generally get straight to them. I feel like I passed up what? I passed up 10, and
Did you
then
play
before
9?
10, I don't think I passed on 9 too, which I think that's like a beloved one, right? Like
Well, that's
that's
the one. That's honestly the last one I played. That came out like what 360 era, and it was kind of
yeah.
like after a really long like hiatus of Mortal Kombat games, at least of good ones. This was kind of
hmm
like what do you want to say, a reboot? Because they didn't call it Mortal Kombat 9; it was just Mortal Kombat. But I remember really enjoying that. And I hadn't played it in a long time, so I liked how they kind of brought everything up to snuff for that particular generation. So,
Yeah.
oh, go ahead.
It feels like 10 is the one that a lot of people haven't really talked about much. Like this one, 11's pretty popular. And then, like you said, 9 felt like a return to form
Hmm.
for NetherRealm and Mortal Kombat and all of that stuff. Oh, okay. Oh, I thought you were going to say something.
Oh no,
Um, but yeah, I
I just got
guess
a
just,
contemplative face. Sorry.
oh, you're good. I guess just my thoughts on, because I'll be honest, I didn't go all in on like every aspect of the game. Fighting games are not necessarily my bag, although I'll admit the NetherRealm like story modes and campaigns I find interesting,
Hmm.
simply because of how they're utilized with the fighting and all of that stuff. I find that super intriguing. Um, but yeah, with Mortal Kombat 11, all I really played was the first half of the story, which apparently there was a second half, which maybe I'll do that on stream. But the second half apparently is its own story because the first half technically does have an end, and it's like a really good end. But apparently there's a second half with Shang Tsung, so it's its own like
Hmm.
branch off of the plot. But the first one has like an ending where like the main villain, you deal with and all that stuff.
Okay.
But
Did you play any of
really,
like the online multiplayer or anything like that? Get your butt
I
handed to
did
you?
not. I did not. See, I'm not even that competitive anymore, so
Hmm.
it's not like I have any. I just don't have any inkling within me to put myself through that. 'Cause I already know I'd get my tail just absolutely beat.
Yeah, fighting games you got to dedicate yourself to, because they all have their own, varying learning curves. I feel like Mortal Kombat in general isn't too steep of a curve. Like it's not like the Street Fighters and whatnot, in my
I was gonna
opinion.
say Street Fighter people go crazy with.
Yeah, but no, you're right. Like you will get your butt handed to you if you aren't even adequate when you go online.
Hmm
I'm trying to think. Like even when I played 9, like I ran through the story. But I had a lot of buddies that we would sneak away at work and play in the lobby a lot, so we had to play against each
Yeah.
other a fair amount, and that was fun. I mean, I think I don't know if it was that point in my life or just kind of where I'm at right now, but I'm kind of in the same boat. I'm not nearly as competitive as I used to be, at least not with games. I don't have the time
hmm
to spend on them like that. So if I'm not playing against like just a couple of buddies locally or something like that, yeah, I'm probably not gonna do the versus mode too often.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. It's kind of hard, especially if you're, soloing playing a Mortal
Hmm.
Kombat game. It's hard to. I mean, I guess now with multiplayer and online, you can go out and do that, but I don't know. I'm just not competitive anymore, and I know I suck at multiplayer games, and
Well, you're just
I
bad at
just
games, period.
I'm just
For
bad at
those who
games
haven't
in
checked, go look
general.
at
Yeah,
ChazmaN's Elder Scrolls series where he couldn't get past boss numero uno. So,
maybe that's why 3D World is now my new favorite game
no.
because it's a little baby game for babies.
Oh, don't say that.
I'm a baby. But yeah, I guess oh, I just noticed I totally forgot, but like one thing I have to mention as a super negative with this game was not even necessarily like the game itself. It was more the PC port of the Game Pass.
Mm.
It had a really weird thing where you can even see it in my streams, but it had a really weird thing where like the fighting and stuff, all of the action things were like great crisp, 60 FPS, no problems. But for some reason, in all of the cutscenes, they would all like run at like they would stutter and run at like 15, 20 frame rates per
Mm.
second. And I ended up looking it up, and apparently it's an issue that NetherRealm knows about. They never adjusted it because I ended up going back to I ended up installing it on my Xbox and playing it there,
Mm.
and there the game ran fine, with no hiccups or nothing.
Is it prevalent from your research across like all types of GPUs, or is it specific to like NVIDIA or AMD or anything like that?
That I don't know. I just found a Reddit article, of a bunch of people talking about the PC Game Pass port, and from like 6 months ago, it's a super prevalent issue of everyone talking about like, dude, why have you never addressed? I mean, it could be something super specific. Maybe
Right.
it has been addressed, but yeah, for me, it was disorienting enough where I'm like, all right, I'm gonna play it on Xbox. Xbox was fine.
Yeah, that's fair. That's the thing about PC gaming, and honestly, like I used to be primarily a PC gamer for a while. But the problem is like every game, you gotta spend time in the settings. They don't always come out running as optimized or efficiently as they should, and you gotta wait for patches and whatever. And it gets frustrating to be a PC primary gamer. Like you definitely get, I think, the better experience once things get locked in and dialed in, but that can take some time. And I personally just got a
Yeah.
little tired of it. And that's the one thing I'm always going to appreciate about a console. For the most part, these games are somewhat catered towards their console build. So when you get it, you can be relatively confident you're going to have a mostly smooth experience through and through, unless there's, some barring issue like, a cyberpunk kind of situation.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but I'm sorry to hear that the PC version was a little hiccupy to say the least.
It was bad. It was bad enough to where I'm like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
I'm not playing a proper version of a game, and I immediately switched over to the Series X, man, and everything ran smooth.
And you got a decent kind of mid-range PC. I know it's not like top of the
Yeah.
line, but it's not like it's, an ancient PC like mine is.
hmm Yeah. Oh well,
I
that's
need to
right.
rebuild it. It's
You
going
need
on
a new
11,
build.
12 years now, but hey, it's been going strong. But
Well, you're recording. You're doing a podcast right now.
I know,
That's
super
something.
intensive. Yeah.
But I guess the main reason to play this campaign is they had a super interesting ideal where they have this new character. What was her name? Oh, I forgot her name. Oh, Chronica.
Hmm.
The whole campaign kind of revolves around this character, Chronica, who is, oh man, I totally forgot to write it down. I believe she is the daughter of Shinnok, who Shinnok is one of the Elder Gods. He's one of the Elder Gods in the Mortal Kombat
Mhm.
lore. Could be wrong. Don't get me wrong. But I think she's the daughter of Shinnok, and her, the Elder Gods. They each of them have like a certain role to play in how the universe and how things work. Her specific role is that she can control time. Um, I'm trying to remember what was her reasoning for even what she was doing. Um, well, I think basically what she was doing is in each universe, um, Raiden would go through the same thing where Raiden, each time he would gain Shinnok's amulet, and in every universe he would go and like just ruin everything because it turns him evil or something.
Hmm.
Gosh, I'm trying. It's been like a couple weeks. I'm trying to like.
I'll
But
tell
yeah,
you, Mortal
basically,
Kombat lore, like it's fun, you're playing it,
it's kind
but
of weird.
going back
Yeah.
and putting it together, I don't know. I'm sure there's some huge Mortal Kombat fans out there that live for that kind of thing, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Their lore, although interesting, has never just grasped me. It's fun. It serves the narratives they throw in there, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just not giving it a fair enough shake. Maybe it's a little deeper than I'm giving it credit for. I don't
But
know.
but but you're totally right. Like that is the essence of the campaign. Is that yeah, that's cool and fine. The whole Chronica and all that story, but the heart of it is that the idea that her about powers and abilities just create chaos for like everything is in service of trying to mix up fighting
Hmm.
every different kind of character you can imagine. That's like the whole point, is to because she'll bring in each she mixes in like time frames and all of that. So she'll introduce like young Johnny versus old Johnny, and you'll get all every type of villain gets reincarnated or brought back because Raiden has basically gone evil and killed them
Okay.
and everything. So it basically all isn't just in service of just
Setting up some cool moments to fight.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's good. That's the point
Yeah,
of that game. So as long as they're catering to that and building up some cool scenarios and character battles, and that's the point. And from what I can tell, you said the gameplay was pretty solid from a combat
Oh
standpoint.
yeah, the fighting looks like fantastic. It looks great. Like, it's the classic. Trying to perform all of the normal moves that you would normally do.
Mhm.
But in my opinion, I think where Mortal Kombat has always shined has always been the backgrounds.
Mhm.
While you're always fighting and you can see I don't know, people dangling from chains or giant beasts in the backgrounds and all that stuff. That I think the Mortal Kombat like war or world it has always like fascinated me, and I don't know, it all stems from that one movie that I
That's
love
fair.
from the 90s.
I think part of the reason I haven't been too what's the word is motivated to kind of check out any of the newer Mortal Kombats, at least from what I've seen on the outside. Once again, I'm not a huge fighting fan. It doesn't
Hmm.
look like they've really evolved that much. Like when 9 came out, it was a big step up because to me it was kind of the modernization of Mortal Kombat at that time. And from what I can tell with 10 and 11, it just seems like that maybe I don't know, a little more perfected, a little more polished. And I know you just said you hadn't played any of the prior ones. I'd be curious to see kind of what you think the evolution of the combat and the systems have been, or if they really just have been kind of polishing things for the past few iterations.
I tell you what, that you pretty much hit the nail on the head. It doesn't really feel all that revolutionary, but it
Hmm.
does feel more polished. Like it still is like super it still is super corny, super cringy. Like the dialogue between people most of the time doesn't really make sense. People say ridiculous things,
All right.
and it's just like, "Oh, you bumped into me. You will pay," or something. You
Time
know
to
what I mean?
die.
And then yeah, and then it'll transition from cutscene.
You made me
That's one
spill
thing
my
I've
coffee. Now I spill your blood.
yeah, something stupid. But yeah, that's basically how it is. People say ridiculous things, and it makes sense. All people want to do is see characters rip each other's heads off in
Sure.
those games, and it's like whatever. Whatever gets to the next fight, who
Yeah.
cares?
No, that's
And I
awesome.
think I think NetherRealm definitely leans into that. Like it's still impressive, like the level of campaign and story that they do put in, but it definitely feels like they know what's up.
Well, good.
Um, I don't know, just kind of running through my notes. Yeah, I mentioned Chronica. She's super awesome. Reason for fights are dumb, as is tradition with Mortal Kombat.
Okay, I gotta
I,
ask, who is your favorite character to play as?
in this game,
Mm-hmm.
or historically,
And this one.
who was my favorite character to play as? Trying to remember. I don't know. I would probably say Johnny. Johnny was still
Really?
really. Yeah, I've
Huh.
always liked Johnny's like. I don't know. His moveset's always been super fun. He still does the junk punch, and he still throws his like green stuff, and I don't know. I felt like Johnny was pretty fun. Another pretty fun one was oh man, I can't remember his name. There's a what's his name? Something Khan. There's a Khan, not Shao Kahn, but there's another Khan who takes his place. I could look. It'll take me a second. MK Khan. I want to get his name. Um, no. What's his name? Oh my gosh! Of course, typing in MK Khan brings up like the most ridiculous. Uh oh, Kotal Khan. I just remembered it. Kotal Khan.
Oh, no
He's a
idea.
really fun. He's a really fun new character who I think they introduced in, oh man, 9 or 10.
Mm-hmm.
But he plays like a really good like substitute for Shao Kahn. He's just like a bigger, larger character who has a big sword. He's pretty fun to play as well. But yeah, I mean, it's hard for me to go too deep into like the intricacies of the actual combat because it still feels the same, man. They still have the same uppercut punches. They've got the I will say in the campaign you don't get to perform any fatalities, which is kind of disappointing. So that's the one thing I did. Well, because
I get that
um,
from a story standpoint. They
from
probably
a
can't kill
story
off people
standpoint,
at certain points, but
yeah,
that's half the
but they
fun
do,
right there.
yeah, but in the campaign, but they do have like a new form of special ability that you
Mm,
can build up after taking enough damage, and those are almost just as performative, I guess you could say, as
okay,
the fatalities.
fair
I
enough.
will say if I go back and play it, which I think I will, I think I kind of want to buy the Shang Tsung DLC or whatever and play that. I think it might be kind of fun to go back. 'Cause I know they also have like other game modes. There's like a tower and or something. They have like a bunch of cool stuff. I
Okay,
do think it is a game.
fair enough.
I do think I want to go back through it.
All right, well, I'm glad. It sounds like you enjoyed it. Back, kind of dipping your toes back into the Mortal Kombat realm, so that's fun.
Yeah, it was fun. It's fun. Like I said, I have a deep history. Mortal Kombat.
It
It's big for me.
ruined your childhood. Now you gotta keep it going to your
Nah,
adulthood.
nonsense.
That movie
Um,
ruined a lot of childhoods.
Which one? The original?
Yeah. Well, the second one in particular. But,
Oh well, yeah. Freaking Annihilation. That was awful.